Joy, what do you have for lunch?
Oh, I went for convenience store and bought this lunchbox. Quite delicious.
What? It involves some GM foods.
What
How
are
can
GM
you eat
foods?
GM foods?
Oh, really? What are GM foods?
Well, GM foods, the whole name is genetically modified food. They are foods derived from the genetically modified organism. And genetic modification means to insert or delete a series of genes into organism which make them have some specific changes. However, GM foods are not good.
Really? How could convenience store steal this kind of
Poison
poisonous
is
stuff?
calm down, okay? GM food is just like normal food. They are not different.
Oh, really?
No, let me tell you the truth. Hello everyone, today our topic is non-genetic modified food. And I'm Fanny, this is Emmy and Joy. And the main thought of our speech is stop eating GM food. GM foods make up 60 to 80% of foods in the world. And with such a high percentage, that is the reason why all of us should pay closer attention to this issue. And we have done some research on this topic. We have book, news report, and magazine to support our speech. And later, we will talk about the truth about GM foods and the reason why there are so many GM foods for people to consume. And the third part is what you can do to stop eating GM foods. And then we will conclude our presentation. So now let's move on to the first part.
News from the Voice of Russia. On the annual days of 2010, the Defense Against Environmental Hazard, Russian scientists have announced that GM foods are harmful for mammals, such as dogs, tigers, and human beings. The researchers discovered that animals that eat GM foods lose their ability to give birth to babies. They divided rats into two groups. One was fed with GM soybeans, while the other was fed with pure soybeans. Originally, everything went smoothly. However, they noticed that the next generation of rats fed with GM soybeans, they grow slower and reach their sexual maturity slowly. Sexual maturity is the age when people want to have sex. And the third generation of rats fed with GM soybeans, they lose their ability to reproduce completely, which means they cannot have children anymore. And they've also got a lot of unknown health problems which is not able to cure by current medical science. And this result is the same with other science researchers in France and Austria. In addition, growing GM crops will certainly ruin our environment and break the ecosystem. The reason is that when we change the genes of GM crops, we also give them superiority over our plants, which means GM crop will be much stronger than any other plants. So under the natural selection system, ordinary plants cannot survive because of the existence of GM crops. On the other hand, according to Wan Liao's research in molecular biology, GM crops have already passed the super genes to normal weeds and made them become super weeds, which is too tough to kill off. Nowadays, farmers spend 3 times more pesticides on farming, and this large amount of pesticides have already polluted the soil and our water supply system. Now that we know that GM foods are harmful for mammals, and also growing GM crops brings no benefit for human beings, why do people still want to eat and produce GM foods? On the next session, we will try to figure this out.
And why there are so many GM foods? There are 2 reasons. One is for farmers. Most farmers like genetically modified food because they are easy to plant and have higher tolerance against pests, and they can produce larger harvests than normal plants. The reason why GM foods were created is because people want to produce more and more food to feed the increasing population and to improve farmers' life. Through the new technology, scientists believe that farmers can use less pesticide and have higher income. Besides, farming become more efficient. And the second reason is for people. GM foods are so common that people are easy to get them. There are more and more GM foods are sold and used throughout the world. And according to the Kosher magazine, more and more GM foods are planted, especially in those developing countries. In 2004, 14% of corns and more than 15% of soybeans are GM foods in the world, and that is just part of a number. As I mentioned in the beginning, GM foods make up 60 to 80% of foods in the world, and people estimated that the number will continually increase in the following years. Therefore, we can see that the largest amount of GM foods are in the market and the price is cheap. Therefore, the ingredient of ready-made food we buy may involve some GM foods. That is to say, you may eat some GM foods in an unknown situation. So after realizing the danger of GM foods and why there are so many GM foods, how can we do to get away from them? Well, let's see the solution.
Okay. Here we got two solutions for you. The first is to check the food label, and the second is natural food. We should stop eating GM food because GM food have been proven to harmful to mammals, and we human beings are also mammals. So how could we expect that we can exempt from the herd of GM food? And besides, due to super weeds, the cost of farming will go up because farmers have to use more pesticides to kill the super weeds. And in the end, our food will become more expensive and unhealthy. The simplest solution is to check the food label like that. We should pay more attention on the food label before we buy the food, and then you can avoid GM food easily. And next, I would like to introduce natural food to you. Natural food is the food that's grown with natural farming. According to Taiwan Panorama magazine, natural farming do not use pesticides or artificial fertilizer. The main idea of natural farming is to serve food with safety, quality, and nutrition. And natural farming brings out the power of living soil that sustains earth and supports the true health of human family. So, if you want to get rid of GM food, turn to natural food will be a good choice. Okay, so far we have introduced how harmful GM foods are and why GM foods are so common for people to consume. And last, we offer some solutions for you to avoid GM foods. Now let's just mention one more time. Check the food label before you buy the food. We should say no to GM food. This is not only for our own health, but also for our next generation.
So, Amy, Joy, now do you know how horrible GM foods are?
Yeah, I will check the food label before I buy any foods in the future.
Yeah, and I decided to buy natural food from now on in order to give our next generation a beautiful earth.
Yes, just remember one thing. Check labels every day.
No
Keep
GM
foods away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Q&A section. If you have any problem, just feel free to ask us.
I want to say, you three make us impressive.
Okay. Very supportive, Jack. Okay. All right.
Do you have any question about GM food?
Or any part that's not clear? Go ahead, Rachel.
Sorry. I know it is very good to eat organic food and natural food, but organic food is always very expensive, and so many poor people in maybe Africa or Asia, the GM food may be the solution to feed them. So it is very, I don't know how to say it. So what is the solution for that? All the people in globe,
In the world.
in the world, yes.
Yeah, we are trying to say that because originally scientists think that GM food grow food more efficiently, so we can grow more food for the people in developing countries, and that's why they produce this kind of GM food. We are trying to tell you that actually GM food is not good for human beings. The cost is higher because the farming cost is even higher because you need to spend more cost on the following event like the pollution and other pesticide stuff. So we are trying to say the whole